Hey, is it working now? Yeah, good morning part two, right? Anything? I went and did the stream test thing and it's like, oh no, you're fine. And I didn't believe it, so I tried it again. And it's working? That is crazy. Okay, maybe it's just one of those days. Cool. That's fun, I guess. Yeah, it's like perfect. Oh, you can't. Hang on. There. Like perfectly stable here again. I'm probably jinxing it looking at it. I don't know. The internets are a mystery to me, unfortunately. But seems to be working. That's good. So I did fix up the project that was not working, my little demo here. Um, remember, like the very first thing when I started this project, I said, oh, it's called javafx.controls. That's probably bad. And I was like, oh, it seems to work. Maybe it's not. It was bad. So don't name your project javafx.controls because if it is the name of a package that we use, it got really upset trying to find stuff. And none of these things would work because I had the same name. So if you fix the name and don't call it javafx.controls, so I changed it like controls demo, then we can do this cool stuff, which is awesome. So we can pass information to the controller. And that was the whole goal here, is how do we get information to the controller? So in the controller here, I just added a method and an attribute that were not part of the fxml. Remember, when we use scene builder, anything that came through scene builder got tagged as at fxml with that annotation. So we don't even need the I don't think we need the constructors now either. We can get rid of those. Or maybe I'll just comment them out. Comment those out. Okay, so I have a public method for set value. Then we go and set the value, and then it goes and sets the text of the label. So in my controller code, when I'm going to go switch to it, I create the loader, and I load it, and then using that loader, you can get the controller so that we can go call the methods on the controller. For that controller set value method, I can get and call before I go and change the scene and show the new scene. That was the whole point here. So we want to be able to pass data, and this is just passing an integer. We can have a method that passes anything. We can pass an object, right? We could pass, right? That we could set up all the things that we need in an object in a class and pass that instance of the class. Right, we'll play with our little slider here. We'll get, say, 42, and we'll buy it, and we pass the 42 because we have grabbed the controller and called that set value method. A Mortal Kombat ad before seeing a professor live on a Twitch. Yeah. I mean, so the Twitch ads support the platform, and all the money goes towards the scholarship fund, which is awesome. So I've made my first $50 donation, although Twitch hasn't paid me yet, but I was excited to get up to 50. And it was Giving Blue Day, so all that money goes towards the scholarship fund, which is cool. And never fear, don't feel left out, OCC students. We're starting a separate scholarship for you folks. It's still not quite ready. We're working with the foundation people to get all the stuff done for it, but we'll be launching the We Love Learning Endowed CIS scholarship. Super excited for that. Hopefully it'll be ready come next year because they have to get it funded to a certain level first before we can start actually paying out scholarships. But that's the goal. That's the goal. All right. Yeah, was that for the Mortal Kombat movie? I think it was for the movie. It looked kind of fun. I remember like the first one that came out when I was a kid. Anyway, so you don't need to use the constructor method. That's probably easier than doing the set controller thing. I think we're easier just calling methods. So I've commented out the controller style method. If we just use the get controller, life will be a lot easier for us. And any method we want to put in the controller, right, it's just a Java class, we can put there to do whatever we want to do. And that was the goal with the controller. Okay? All right, so now let's take a look to see if we can do some more fun stuff with this Buy Now fxml page. And we'll put some other controls on that second page and see what we get there. I can't believe it's like, it was super laggy the first time and now it's working. Yeah, that's so awesome. Thanks so much, Kobe. And Kobe. Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that worked well for your C# class. What are you doing now after your internship? All right, I'm just grabbing this here real quick. So I'm going to try and add a couple other fun things to this. So we looked at a couple layouts already. A hat, you got it. Let me switch here. If you're not a fan of the Mickey Mouse hat, I guess. Oh, I didn't tie up the bow on this one. That's okay. That's all right. We'll manage. Oh, very cool. Okay, yeah. So, always good to check out and see what else is out there. And data science is fun stuff for sure. So, all right, so we were trying to work our way through chapter 13. And we skipped most of the CSS stuff. If you want to look at all that styling, that stuff, that's great. Again, that's not entirely the focus of what we're looking for. We're looking more for function rather than the form and making things pretty. So I'm going to add some buttons here. Let's go and add some. Got a couple options. So checkboxes are nice and easy. They're either checked or unchecked. Right? But radio buttons lets you pick only one of them is allowed to be checked at a time. Right? I think, did we do these last week? I'm losing my mind already now. Right, toggle button, either on or off. Got some fun options. Let's do some checkboxes here. So let's put a layout in here first. And how will we do the border pane? I like the border pane. So I'll throw that in here. Oops, where'd it go? And see if we can expand this out. All right, and remember the border pane has areas, top, left, center, right. So I'm going to put this label here in the top. I'm going to nest that inside there. And then that other label where we set the value, let's put that one in, say maybe the center. And then now let's add some buttons. So if we go and add a button, here we go. We need to put more containers in first. So let's add our horizontal box to the bottom, and then some vertical boxes to the left and right. Left and right, because this way we can put more things inside. Right? You kind of do this nested container approach. There we go. Oh, I forgot to tell everyone on Discord that it's working. All right, I told everyone it wasn't going to be live, but if you're around, great. You can ask questions, and if not, it'll be recorded for when I'm done. Okay. So we got our box. Let's throw a couple in here. So let's put a checkbox in, say the bottom. I'll do another checkbox in the bottom. And how about one more checkbox in the bottom? There we go. All right, and then let's see, can we make these centered? Should center. No, that's not changing it. Nope. H box. There we go. Yeah, that is centered. All right, let's give them some names. So here's the first one. We'll say, let's call it first. And then we'll do second. And then we'll do third. Okay, so we got a first, we got a second, we got a third. And now let's go give them names in code so we can find them and see their values. So we need these FX IDs. Third checkbox, second checkbox. We're going to be able to check whether or not they're checked. Second checkbox. And a first checkbox. Okay, so we got first, second, third. You know, those don't look great there. I want those spread out a little bit better. We can just add like a separator here. That might work. Nope, that was the wrong button. Just want the separator. There it goes, between the two. All right, that'll do for now. And then when these are clicked or checked, we need to do something. And they can each have a different handler, or we can have them all share a handler. Depends on how I want to do these. So I think it might be easiest if they all shared a handler. This is like a checkbox clicked. And so I'm going to use this same action handler for all of these. And then we can compare and see where it came from, because we want to do certain things based on what was clicked. Okay, so we'll save that, come back to NetBeans, and then we'll make our controller again. And it should, here, great, now we added all of our checkboxes here. Okay, and we get what happens when we check the box. Well, we need something to do, so we have that label. Right? So we can look at the event. Event. Come on. There we go. So the action event is passed when the checkbox is clicked. So what we need to do is we're going to look at the event and want to get the source of the event. So the source is which object triggered the event. So we can check and see. So we can say, hey, if my source is equal to the first button, or the first checkbox, then I could do something. So we'll do, I don't know, we'll take that text label, set text, first button. Right, else if event.getSource is the second checkbox, we'll set it to the second button. And else if it was the third, we'll set it to the third button. Oops, that should say second. And third button. Third checkbox. There we go. Let's give it a little format and give it a shot. So this is just saying, where did the event come from? So we're not being super specific here yet. And we'll get to that. So sure, let's go over to that one. So we got a first, a second, and a third. So if I go to third, I get the third button. If I go to second, I get the second button. If I uncheck third, I get the third button. So we're not looking to see if we're checked or unchecked. We're just which one triggered it here. And so it's the last one. So if we want to look and see if they're checked or not, we can do that as well. So depending on if you want to look at, did it trigger it? Great. You could do that. So then we'll say, okay, if it was the first checkbox and first checkbox dot is checked. Oh, is selected. Is selected. Okay, and we'll do this one here. And second checkbox It's selected. So if we uncheck it, nothing's going to change here. Our checkbox is selected. So this should only work now if we are checking the box. It should trigger it here for a change. I think it just depends on what kind of combinations we want to do here. And I think everyone told me how fun the ice cream shop project was they did so long ago. So second, third, if I uncheck second, it shouldn't change because I was unchecking it. So it's only going to trigger on getting checked. But again, it's just taking the last value. We're not really looking at, hey, what kind of combination do we have here? That's all. Okay. So let's add in some more here. Let's add in, there we go. There we go. Let's see. Let's change this here. You're not a winner here. This is, let's play a game. Okay. And I'm going to add another button here to this side. Call this our roll button. Okay. And then in the center section, let's add a little grid. Where's my grid? Oh, there, it's a container. That's why. Here's my grid pane. Let's throw that in the center. No, not as a graphic. Yeah, I want that the other way around. I want the label inside the grid. Let me flip that. Come on. All right, I'm just going to take the label out for now. Put the label back in a minute. There we go. All right, let's make this grid say, let's add a column, and add a column, and add a column. Okay, so I got 5 columns, so I have too many rows. I want to get rid of one of these rows. There we go. So we're going to be 5 by 2 here. Okay, and actually I can move all my checkboxes now. And move those into the grid pane. First, and second, and third. All right, and I can get rid of these ones here. There we go. Let's put a label. Let's put our text label back in here in the bottom, maybe. Just call it text label, I think. Text label. Okay, so we'll go add some more checkboxes. There. And one more over here. Okay. This is 4th checkbox. I'll call that one 4th. And this one here will be 5th. 5th, right? There's an F there, I think. And 5th checkbox. All right, we got a couple checkboxes. This roll button's a little ugly over there, but that's okay. We can worry about cleaning that stuff up later. Okay, so we need to add some event handlers as well. So when the 4th gets checked, we'll do the same checkbox clicked. When the 5th gets checked, we'll do the same. 5th one is clicked, okay? And I'm going to add a couple more labels here. So I'm going to add a label to each one of these boxes. Label, 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 label. Okay. And we need to give them some IDs because I'm going to be using these labels. I'm going to set some labels here in a minute. So we'll have this be the first label. And this one will be the second label. And this one will be the 3rd label. And this one will be the 4th label. And this one can be the 5th label. Oops, did I miss? I think I missed a capital there. fourth label. There we go. Okay, third label. Yep, those look good. And then I got to change the text. I don't want them to have any text to start. So back out their text. All right, awesome. So we got all those. Good, 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 good. Now we'll come back. I'll make sure I save it. And we'll come back and make our controller again. All right, so now I get all my other labels. Right? Looking good so far. Now what I want to do, I'm going to add a couple other things. So I want to go back and have my constructor here. Let's go back and add this one back. So it'll default values for anything that's not an fxml. Right? All the stuff that's fxml is going to get set automatically. So I don't need to mess with those in the constructor here. What we want to do is let's set up a random here. So we'll have a private random, and we'll say random equals a new random. Yes, let's import from java.util. Yes, please. And so you can generate some random numbers. Okay, and then we'll have a couple ints. So int first, int second, private int third, private int fourth, private int fifth. Okay, we can go set some values here. So I'm going to say first equals random.next int, and let's go from 0 to 6, which will give me 0 to 5, and I want to add 1. I'm going to do this for each of my numbers. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay? And then I want to be able to update those labels, but I want to do it often enough. So I'm going to make another helper method here to update my labels. Update labels. So it's going to take my first label, and it's going to set the text. Set text, there we go, to first.toString. What is it? It's integer, right? Integer, toString. That's annoying. First. There we go. Look at that, even new first. Okay, and we're going to repeat for all of our labels. Second, third, fourth, and fifth. We'll do the second label with second. We'll do the third label with third. We'll do the fourth label with fourth. And we'll do the fifth label with fifth. Fifth label with fifth. Fifth label? Oh, did I not name it? Uh-oh. It's my last label here. Oh, it's missed a F there. I had fifth label. Fifth? That's probably right. Give that a save. All right, come back, make our controller again. There we go. There's our fifth label. Okay. Cool. So we got all those going. And then we want this roll button to do something here. We'll call this. I don't think I actually need the. We just need an on action. Roll button clicked for action handler. Give that a save. We'll come back, regenerate. Now I should have my roll button clicked. There we go. Awesome. Oh, I also need a roll count here. So we'll have an int for rolls. And now this, I might want to actually do this again. So we'll say rolls equals 0. And I'm going to grab all of this, and I want to do this as a method instead. So I'm going to refactor. I want to introduce a method. Call this roll. Oh, and then roll should also call update labels. We'll roll it, and then we'll update the labels. So when we roll, we should take rolls plus plus. Right? We're going to add a roll here. When we try and roll. Or maybe we'll do it after. Maybe we'll add that after. And really, I only want to change these values. No, you know, that's okay. That's okay. We'll put the roll count in here. So we'll say text label, set text, put that to roll number, and then we'll add in here integer.parseInt my roll count, rolls. All right, so we'll see if we can generate some random numbers and count how many times we've rolled. Oh, uh-oh, we had an error. Incompatible types. Int cannot be converted to string. Oh, to string, not parseInt. There we go. That ought to be better. Yes. Uh-oh. Had an exception. Didn't load. Oh dear. What went wrong? Ah. So we can't update the labels yet in the constructor because the initialize needs to happen first. That's right. That's right. So I'm going to put roll here then. Instead of in the constructor, I'm going to put that in the initialize. So the stuff when the constructor happens and then all the fxml stuff happens, so we have to do it in the correct order. So it can't interact with XML objects until initialize. Not in the constructor. Constructor. That's probably spelled right. All right, let's give that a shot. Come on. All right, let's set it to something. There we go. All right, so it's at 40. Oh, I didn't update to my roll count, though. That's all right. Did we call roll? And roll should update labels. Update labels should set the text. Oh, we set it after in our controller, because when we called set text over here, right, it was actually changing that, setting that value. Okay, that's all right. Because this happened after it initialized, but before we showed anything. So the timing here gets a little funny, but it'll be okay. Right, we'll stop doing this here because we don't actually need any of that. Right, we don't need to pass it in. But now my roll button should work. I should get new numbers. Oh, I never hooked it up. Right, the roll button should call roll. There we go. Because we're going to roll again. Let's see. It's thinking about it. Okay, we'll pass that over. There we go. All right, so 22553, roll number 1. Roll number 2, they change. Roll 3, they change. Roll 4, they change. They change, they change, they change, they change. Looking good so far. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to only roll them if these buttons aren't checked. These are our save buttons here. Okay, or maybe hold. I don't know. Maybe we want to change it to hold. I'll change them to say hold. Hold, 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 and hold. Okay. So if we check the hold box, we're going to do something. So now actually we don't really care whether or not these have been checked. We don't need any code to run just because we checked the box. Oops, oh, that was the wrong thing. I want that fxid. I don't want the onAction. That's the one I want to get rid of. We don't need an action handler. We don't care. We only want to check their status here. Okay. Give that a save. We'll come back and make our controller. Okay, so now I can check. So I can say if first checkbox dot is selected, and actually if it's not selected, I want to do this change here. Right, and we're just going to repeat for all of these. If the second checkbox is not selected, and if the third checkbox is not selected, and if the fourth checkbox is not selected, and if the fifth checkbox is not selected. We should do these things, okay? Let's give that a shot. We should be able to hold the die. All right, sure. All right, so now if I hold them, say let's hold the 4s, and I roll again. The 4s didn't change. Oh, there's more 4s. Let's hold all the 4s. Keep going. Come on. There we go. Now I got 4 4s. So 13 rolls. I'm going to get 5 4s. There we go. So we're able to get our numbers out here. So we're on our way to making a game. I don't know if this is going to look familiar to any of you. If you've ever played Yahtzee, that might start to look familiar. Right? So Yahtzee is a game of dice rolling, and you get scores for rolling your dice. So I think we're going to be working on a Yahtzee demo over the next week or so. So I don't have too much more to show today. We got through most of chapter 13. We did really good. Again, there's other boxes, other controls we could use, list drop downs, those sorts of things. So take a look at those in the text and see if you want to use any of them. And we'll try and build out this Yahtzee game as we go next week, add in some cool media and effects and graphics so that it's not just a text value here. We can actually show some images and make things look pretty. And it should be a lot of fun. Okay, and then hopefully that'll be useful to kind of follow along as you're doing your final project and you're doing your game. Okay? So I think we'll call it good today. I wanted to make sure the recording got out for people who are going to watch the recording in case they didn't come back live, because I don't know why it wasn't cooperating. I just ran the test and then all of a sudden it started working again. So I don't know exactly what happened there. Oh, you want a dad joke, Scholar? You got it. You got it. So before we go, we'll close out with a good joke here. So I got a couple. Where was it here? Let's see. Man, I gotta get some fresher jokes. I'm running out of all my good ones. Let's see. All right, we did that one. Uh-oh. Running out of material. Okay. Yeah, this is a good one. So, my youngest, my little guy, is still very much a toddler, and he is a big fan of Sesame Street. He loves watching Sesame Street and Elmo and Cookie Monster and Grover and all the characters. And, you know, I always like to ask people who their favorite character is from Sesame Street. And, you know, just to see and just to start some conversation and whatever. And I don't get out very much anymore. So that's what I talk about when I see other adults is Sesame Street. But I'd asked my friends, and they said, oh, you know, Elmo, because everyone loves Elmo. And they said, well, what's your favorite character? And I said, you know, I'm a big fan of that vampire character, and I couldn't think of his name in a minute. And they said, oh, he's not a main character. He doesn't count. And I said, oh, no, I assure you, he does. All right. So we'll keep on working on this game here, and we'll see if we can have some fun with it. So take some time to get started on your project. Again, what we're going to do is we're going to try and break out the logic into classes, and then we want to have the user interface be separate. So what we want to do is we want to have the two separate enough that you can take your class and you can use it in different places, right? So if anyone was going to take the web design course or the web development course 2454 over the summer, right, we could use the same Java classes and put them into a Java web application instead of a graphical user interface, right? Or I don't know if they port quite so easily over to Android now that they switched over to Kotlin, but maybe if you took the mobile class, we could take all of this work we've done and use the classes in a mobile application instead. So the idea is you don't want to have to be tied to your user interface. And that's sort of the route we went here with these checkboxes and these values and things. So we'll look at how we can separate that out next week and look at some better practices. So instead of having everything here, we'll have an instance of a class. Okay, let's start thinking about your logic. Don't forget we got study group today at 4. And I think a couple people were looking to pair up in Discord. If you want to find anybody else who's online in Discord and see if they want to pair up for this project. Definitely would recommend it. It's going to be well worth your time to collaborate with somebody. You'll get a better product at the end from working together, bouncing ideas off of each other, and usually it's more fun. It's kind of lonely to be a programmer and not talk to anybody and just sit and do your own thing. So that's what we'll go for. Okay. So I'll make sure all this code is out in GitHub. And we'll call it a day so that everyone has time to watch the recording if they weren't able to make it live, and we can go from there. All right, if you got questions, let me know. If not, we'll chat later today. Or not later today, we'll chat next week. That's right, 2151. There we go. Updated. Control demo. Oh, I don't want to. I gotta get rid of this test stuff. I thought I did already. There we go. Alrighty. Cool. So you folks take care. Let's see. I don't know if there's anyone else around on Twitch we could go pester. I'm amazed it's been stable. I don't know what happened. Maybe I just had a bad connection out to Twitch or something, but that's okay. Alright, yeah, I don't need any of these. Here. Let me discard test. Come on. Now I'm asking my computer to do too much at once. All right. Ooh, news is on. We can go check out some news. That might be fun. Yeah, let's go check out some news. All right, folks, I'll see you around. And let me know if you got questions, concerns, keep in touch, and we can go from there. See you, everybody. Maybe, if that right now button works. Where's the button? There it goes. See ya.